Hello family and friends, back again this year for another baking adventure. Now I don't know about you, but I'm awful tired of this long, cold, gloomy winter. And last year when I tried this, it kind of brightened up things for a few days. You may recall, last year about this time I tried to bake a cake. With an awful lot of help from the sheriff, I made it through and everything turned out all right. But this year, I'm going for easier. I'm going to try and bake some pancakes from scratch. No Aunt Jemimas, no box mixes. I'm going to try to make the mix from scratch and then cook us up a big batch of pancakes. So if I'm going to get this done, I better get started. The sheriff's expecting dinner by 7 o'clock. The recipe I'm going to be using for these pancakes is coming out of Southern Living's Our Best Recipes. Now this cookbook was copyrighted in 1970, and we've got the fourth printing in 1973. I think this was probably a wedding gift or something like that to the sheriff and I. And it's safe to say that she hasn't used it a lot, and I've never used it. I'll also use some cooking tips from The Joy of Cooking, another legendary cookbook from back in the 70s. One thing I have found as I have gotten older is I have an awful hard time staying focused and remembering everything. So to get ready to bake these pancakes, I got all my working utensils out in advance and organized. I've got a tablespoon and a teaspoon measurer. I've got a cup, something to stir the mix with, a nice container that I can pour the stuff out of, and a nice skillet and spatula to turn the pancakes with. I've also got all my ingredients organized and out on the counter, so I don't, or at least I minimize the chance for accidents. And if you're watching this recipe, I hope you're not allergic to anything, because these are not gluten-free ingredients, and as far as I know, they aren't green either. There's nothing organic in here as far as I can tell. But I've got some gold medal flour here. I've got some sugar, some baking powder, some salt, some cooking oil, some milk, some margarine, and an egg. And we'll be ready to go and start making the mix shortly. Okay, I'm going to start by mixing up and doing my dry mixed stuff first. This is the gold medal flour here. I'm going to use a cup of it. Pretty easy to get into. Here's my cup measure. Let's get a full cup of this stuff. Let's see, I measured it out. Double check. 1 cup. Okay, got my cup into the mixing bowl. Now I need 2 tablespoons of sugar. I guess this is Domino's sugar, but I'm not sure of the brand. Here's my tablespoon measure. Got it level. 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. That was easy enough. Now I believe the next is baking powder. 2 tablespoons of baking powder. I hope there's enough in here. I didn't check. Holy mackerel, how do you get this out of here without making a mess?
No.
Alright, 2 tablespoons of baking powder. This stuff was so old I had to crunch it up a little bit to get it out of there. There goes one in. And let's see if I can crunch a little bit more out of here. I'm not sure how level this is, but I think it's close. That should be good enough. Sheriff says put a dash more. There we go, a dash more. Alright, next we have a couple of teaspoons of salt, I think. Let me check. Yes, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just to make sure I've got the right measure. I got it. Good grief, this feels like it's just about empty. Let's hope that there's enough in here. Oh yeah. Okay. Don't want to make this unhealthy by putting too much salt in it. Okay, the salt is in. That should do it. I guess I need to, well, don't need to mix until I put the liquid ingredients in. Now that all my dry ingredients in there, I'm going to use a table fork to mix them all up together. And you might be able to hear it crackling over here on the stove. I'm cooking a little bacon to go with these pancakes. I'm going to do that before I cook the rest of the pancakes. Looking good so far. Okay, I'm going to work now on the more complex part of this, and that's getting my liquid ingredients together. I'm going to start with a separate bowl for them. I'm going to put that egg in, like so. Beat it up a little bit with this thing. Beat it up good. Feel like I'm making scrambled eggs here. Okay. Now, for some cooking oil, I'm using canola oil here. Kroger brand. I need 2 tablespoons of it. I'm going to throw it in, pour it in right on top of the eggs. 1, 2. Boy, that doesn't look so good down in there, but lots of things that turn out delicious don't look so good to start off with. Mix it up a little bit with the egg. Now she's looking better. And I've got some milk I got to get to put in. The sheriff is suggesting 2/3 of a cup to start off with. Okay, now that I've got my egg and cooking oil prepared, I'm going to pour it into the dry mix, just like so. Then I'm going to start off with 2/3 of a cup of grade A 2% skim milk. Pour it in. Now we're looking delicious here. I'm going to use a whatever this is, kind of a wooden spoon to mix it up. You don't want to mix it real hard. You just want to mix it so it'll pour. But you want to get all the good liquid ingredient into the batter. Remember, these are cloud light pancakes. This is looking pretty good. I wish you could see it better. The sheriff is suggesting more milk. Maybe just a little bit more milk. I'll put just a tad more milk in. I realize we need measurements, not tads, so that's a little bit less than 1/3 of a cup more of milk. You know, I'm glad I'm doing this at night and not at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure I'd be able to handle it. And I'm not sure I didn't mess this up by putting too much milk in it. All the clumps are gone. And it's looking pretty good. I think it's time to cut the grill on. I have put the griddle on. While I'm waiting for it to heat up, I'm going to put some butter in here to grease the pan. This may not be necessary, I've read with other recipes, but for this one, since there's no butter in the batter, I better do this and make sure we got a well greased product here. Well, that's kind of cool. Okay, now we're ready to cook. I'm using a small dipper here, 1/4 cup size, so these things aren't so big. This pan's not too big. There's pancake number 1. Pancake number 2. And pancake number 3. Boy, they sure look like they're doing good. Boy, the sheriff is going to enjoy these, there's no doubt. That's the only bad thing about pancakes, is if you're cooking these things, you can't eat until everybody else is eating. Cloud Light pancakes. This is so much easier than baking a cake, I can't believe it. Oh, I smell that pancake smell. Look at that. Beautiful. I don't think this pan is quite big enough. It doesn't take long for them to cook once you turn them over. So these are ready. They feel pretty cloud light. Look at that delicious plate. Well, let me see if I can get mine cooked here. What is she?
Nobody out there?
Where did that beautiful dog come from? She must want a Cloud Light pancake. I'm going to fix myself 4. I need to figure out how to make them round. I have too much batter in here. And
I told you to make them smaller.
boy, look at that. That is beautiful. Got the maple syrup and the margarine ready. Boy, they sure look good on the plate. Well, there they are on my plate, folks, and they sure look good. The sheriff's already said hers were good. And where'd this cute little dog come from? Yeah, I think I'd call these Cloud Light pancakes a big success. The sheriff said she hadn't cooked them in about 20 years, but she remembered they were good. And I'm right proud that they turned out good. Well, all there is to do now is eat the last 3 pancakes and clean up this giant mess I've made. But it was all worth it, and it seems like it was a little bit of a success. So I'll take it as a midwinter's triumph. We'll go on down the road and see how often we do this in the years ahead.